No college wants me going into my senior year, and since I'm short as a 5'5" cornerback, I can't even blame them. However, I have no choice but to get my family out of this neighborhood because it isn't safe for my two younger sisters, so my final season of high school football has to get me a college scholarship. I'm from the south side of Los Angeles, and I play for Southgate High School, which has been my home for years, and as a senior, I've finally worked my way into the starting lineup, but I still have no offers, no girls, and no future playing the game I love. I want to make sure my mama never has to dig for food again, so today we need to upset Mater Dei, and hopefully that'll lead to some colleges starting to recruit me. I could also potentially shine on special teams, but it wasn't going well so far, and I hadn't been thrown at until this play where the whole world saw me get owned. Then just a minute later, I gave up a touchdown to the bigger receiver, and by the third quarter, Mater Dei's quarterback was strictly targeting my side of the field, so I targeted him back and made my first big play. However, he took that to heart, and I should not have tried to cover underneath. I got absolutely toasted as I gave up a 58-yard touchdown, and no matter how hard I tried to pull, no girl at my school wanted me after my performance, so I had to work 10 times harder to achieve my dreams and become a college cornerback. I was trying to put in the effort so we could take down Sierra Cannon this week, but from the jump, we gave up a lengthy run, and unfortunately, I couldn't recover this fumble. Honestly, I just wasn't very good at playing football, but I'd do anything to get out of here, so despite getting toasted over and over throughout the first few minutes of the game, I was ready to make a difference, and I thought I pulled off the safety here, but the quarterback got it out just in time. I watched my team's offense finally score near the end of the half, but Sierra Cannon still had enough time to go get points of their own, so I was just glad I did my job, which led to us getting a defensive stop. After this play, I realized that I really needed to hit the weight room if I wanted to make it to college, so I showed up there as often as I could, and I was hoping it would give me my first interception in high school since it was clear that my team wasn't any good. After we took our second loss of the season on the road, Southgate High School was completely silent, and I wanted to add a state championship to the collection, but we would have to beat Crenshaw High School in our first home game of the season. Then maybe a college would actually be interested in recruiting me, and I was hoping we could hold on to our early lead, but one of my teammates didn't cover the tight end over the middle. Steve Merca was actually having a pretty good game today though, but on a long third down, I didn't play my zone correctly, and that led to a 24-yard dot. From there, Crenshaw would take the lead back later in the drive, and by now, things were not looking so good for us. They even started trolling by having the running back freeze on this run, and thank goodness this is high school because this tackle would have been a flag in the NFL. We did finally start getting stops on defense, but then I watched Steve Merca throw his fourth pick of the day, and all I could do was pad my stats because we couldn't win. I mean, for once, I was doing pretty well as I racked up 8 total tackles, and after the game, I had a long walk and talk with Steve Merca, where we even shot some basketball to calm down, so I think we're ready to turn around our season. I still didn't have any luck with girls.
This coat costs more than you make in a year.
But Ontario Christian is 0-3, so I think we can get our first win today. We got off to an amazing defensive start, yet somehow Steve Merca hadn't gotten us any points so far, and it seemed like no matter how well I played, we would never win anything. Jesse West would end up bulldozing his way into the end zone on this run, and I was starting to just focus on making sure my stats were as good as possible because it was clear that would be the only way I could get a college scholarship. I had a chance to get my first interception on this play, but I was too short for that, and I still wasn't performing at a level that would impress any Division I coaches. A turnover was finally forced, but unfortunately it wasn't by me, and I was still a 1-star recruit. To make matters worse, this idiot ran over my foot the following day, and then another guy started trashing my team's performances, so I lost my temper, knocked him out, and got blasted twice in the process by his buddy. My adrenaline luckily allowed me to escape the scene with my life, but I was in a lot of pain and I wasn't sure I was ready for the next game. After getting shot a few days ago, I was somehow out there on the field against Laguna Beach, and I was hoping my resilience would get me a college scholarship because there still wasn't a single school that was interested in me. I was also hoping we could finally get a win today, and I was giving it my all as I railed this high schooler. However, just a few plays later, his team teammate would get revenge for him as he sent me to the ground, and with just 30 seconds left in the half, Laguna Beach would find the end zone and take a 7-point lead. I was getting very frustrated because at this point it seemed like winning was just impossible, and I couldn't stand to watch the offense from the sidelines anymore. With 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, my side of the ball had tried their best, only giving up 21 points, but Steve Merca was absolutely terrible, and due to that, this one quickly turned into a blowout. I was so far from getting any interest, and I started meeting up with other teammates to focus on school. If I couldn't get any scholarship offers, I'd have to walk on somewhere, and it was clear my height was giving me a huge disadvantage as they always put the tallest guy on my side. I might have to beg to get on a team at this point, but then I realized I had one thing that could generate a lot of interest. I was one of the fastest guys out there, and if my 40 time was good enough, I felt like that could generate an opportunity for me. I was also a hard hitter for my size, so I just needed to put together a tape, and plays like this one would clearly be excluded from that because this was very embarrassing. We were on pace to be 0-6 because our offense still hasn't scored a point today, and I haven't been perfect on defense, but I'd say most of our winning struggles weren't my fault. It was honestly painful to watch us play, and with a little less than 5 minutes left in the game, the Centennial quarterback opened it up by dropping a bomb on us. Our offense was so bad we punted down 17, and I guess my frustration really started to show near the end because I got called for roughing the passer, and then I overcommitted like an idiot, which ended up leading to another touchdown. The locker room was silent after this one, and I had to clear my head, so I went out to the beach and rented a jet ski. I was starting to get some interest, but it was only to be a walk-on, so with just 2 games left in the season, I still didn't have any scholarship offers for college, and I was really hoping we would come out and beat Long Beach Poly. It would probably come down to if we could score or not, and surprisingly, the offense actually got the first touchdown of the day. I know it's only the end of the first quarter, but we actually had a really solid start to the game, and all I could do was hope that my teammates continued to play at a high level. On a massive 3rd and 5, I was outstanding, clamping up the wide receiver I had to guard, and afterwards, it's safe to say I was feeling myself. We were going into the second half with a lead, but the game was still very far from being over, and all of a sudden, in an instant, we were losing to Long Beach Poly. I'll have to give props to our kicker for drilling this 48-yarder, but after that, the unluckiest thing in the world happened. We got the stop until the receiver fumbled it, and then another guy picked it up and took it for a first down, so instead of getting the ball back, not only did we give them more time to burn through the clock, but we also gave up a 48-yard touchdown run to their quarterback, and at this point, we probably weren't winning a game. I just wanted to get an offer, but with the season nearing the end, I wasn't sure I'd get that either. I had to get my family into a better place, so everything was on the line in the final game of the season as I needed to get 5 tackles to get a scholarship offer. I felt like I should have been credited for at least half of one here, but I wasn't, and St. John Bosco didn't waste any time scoring. They continued to do it as well, but I didn't even care because all that mattered was that I got 5 tackles tonight, and I was going to need a massive second half because by the end of the first, I still only had 1. I know it's a good thing when the quarterback isn't throwing in your direction, but this is the one time I actually needed him to, so I would have to stop clamping up. I just can't seem to get anywhere on the field fast enough to make a play, but finally, I creamed this guy while putting him down, and after this tackle, I only needed 2 more. But that was looking less and less likely as time went by. However, I tracked down the quarterback when nobody else realized he had the ball, and so I just needed 1 more tackle to get a scholarship, but it was too late to do anything, so I was gonna have to walk on somewhere, and I didn't know where I was gonna get a chance.